It's important to be able to keep balance in so many different ways, whether it's time for the self, time for family, and then time for work. It's also a question of prioritization and not just balancing, but seeing what is important. And certainly in this case, it's a question of going inwards and then coming out and connecting with others and then getting on with the task. In the same way, on the spiritual journey, there are 4 different stages, and each stage is important within itself, but it's also important to prioritize and also to keep balance in terms of the time that I allocate for each of these. So the first step is time for spiritual study so that my knowing continues to increase. Knowledge of the soul, knowledge of the divine, knowledge of the philosophy of karma, the law of cause and effect. So these are some of the basic ideas that I have to think about deeply, reflect, and see if I feel comfortable with them, and come to that state of inner knowing in which those ideas resonate with what's going on within my own inner world. It's not a question of debate or right or wrong, because there can be many different perspectives, many different viewpoints, but I need to find that space which is comfortable for me, not a comfort zone, but ideas that I'm comfortable with, that fit in within my own experience of life. And so the first step is knowing. The second step is actually being. To be able to experiment with these ideas and then to be able to experience them in my own life. I can talk or read about the soul, many philosophies, many ideas, but the practice and the being of soul consciousness is totally different. And so, yes, I study, I understand, explore, and I know. And then I experiment and practice. And that feeling of soul consciousness, in which, as I engage in the work I need to do, but I'm practicing soul consciousness, it's such a feeling of liberation in which the soul feels its own highest qualities and is able to express them. No limits, no boundaries, no barriers. But also that state of detachment that I can experience in meditation is truly the being, the human that I know about, but the being. Now I'm discovering what is meant by actually being. And in that awareness of the soul, I can feel myself free from the body. I can feel myself close to the divine. I can feel the peace that I am, the light that I am, the truth and beauty that I have within myself. And I can only do this if I make time to sit down and spend time with myself in silence, in solitude. That doesn't mean going to the top of a mountain. It can be right in the heart of a city, but I create a little space, which is my space to be quiet. And the family will recognize this and support and cooperate, I'm sure. But that intention of creating a space where I can just simply be and being quiet, going on that inner journey, and I discovered the beauty of being, the power of being, and how I'm developing through knowing myself in an experiential way.